lift our hands and give him glory. We come to lift our hands and give him praise. Everybody in the room. We come to lift our hands and give him glory. We come to lift our hands and give him praise. Oh, we come to lift our hands and give him glory. We come to lift our hands and give him praise. Everybody in the room. To lift our hands and give him glory. We come to lift our hands and give him praise. Give him glory. Give him glory. We come to lift our hands and give him praise. Everybody give him glory. Give him glory. Lift our hands and give him praise. Judah, we've come to clap our hands and give him praise. Everybody in the room say, clap our hands and sing up Judah. We come to clap our hands and give him praise. Give him glory. That's why we're here. Clap our hands and give him praise. Give him glory. Give him glory. The speaker. Do we hear what we say when we speak? Do you know that the tongue is strong and not weak? What thought have you given to the words you say? Have you prayed for wisdom and guidance today? The tongue, how powerful yet difficult to tame. The tongue that speaks fire, guilt, or shame. The tongue that boasts or spreads rumors and fears. The tongue that should give praise and thanksgiving is what our Lord God wants to hear. Do we know how to speak to one another? Have we forgotten that God wants us to love our sisters and brothers? To do deeds or works without speaking names? What is important to you? That you serve God or that you want credit where credit is due? When we lash out against each other, when we humiliate, tear down, and speak against one another, our Father hears and is not pleased. You have hurt one of his children. You should repent, ask for forgiveness, and fall down on your knees. For his grace is our gift. There's nothing more precious. The tongue can wreak havoc and cause serious transgressions. The tongue, how powerful yet difficult to tame. The tongue that speaks fire, guilt, or shame. The tongue that boasts or spreads rumors and fears. The tongue that should give praise and thanksgiving is what our Lord God wants to hear. So when we speak, let us be clear that the words from our tongue is soothing to the ear. Think about it before you speak it. Pray on it before you say it. Give it to God and let the wisdom take control. Put your tongue to rest. Let your heart unfold. Good afternoon, Wayne audience, and welcome to Speaking of the Tongue. I'm Rita Harden, author and poet of Speaking of the Tongue, Words of Spiritual Poetic Inspiration. Well, today is the first day for early voting. How about that? And there's organizations all around Atlanta who have scheduled events today, such as Stroll to the Polls and Souls to the Polls. I can't tell you enough how important it is to get out and vote early. I have one, if you're interested, anyone interested in getting out to vote early, you can join the Atlanta branch of the NAACP, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc., and residents of Southwest Atlanta tomorrow in a cooperative effort to stroll to the polls to early vote. The walk will begin at noon from Wayfield Grocery Store on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and proceed to Adamsville Recreation Center, where Fulton County residents will be able to vote early. CIA is also preparing for our Boots on the Ground campaign. We will be knocking on doors in your neighborhood with flyers and information on the issues, voter rights, and protection under the law, and where you can call if you need a ride to the polls. You know, we must all utilize our right to vote. No matter who you choose to represent, your best interest is at stake, and the direction you want to see this country going in, and what is best for you and your family. We would like for you to become a member of Community Advocates in Action. And by the way, our organization is dedicated to my passion, educating the young people in the political process. We don't know what young persons among us may be considering a political future, but one thing I do know is that we are here to help them anytime. They are our future and our leaders. They will lead by example what we bring or set forth before them at the table, or they will be on the menu. So for me, you can be at the table or on the menu. It is our choice, and it is up to us. Go to our Facebook page at Community Advocates in Action at gmail.com. I don't know of anything that's easy to achieve or do, but I do know this. If you have faith and no fear, if you can stay focused on your goals, plans, and dreams, no matter what the naysayers think or say, because believe me, the naysayers are not doers. They're just whiners and complainers. They want it easy and they want it now. Definitely don't want to work for it and expect it to be given to them. So we know it's not from the heart. Why let something or someone take that away from you? Our children need us. We have to build that foundation and truth and commitment and lots of love. We have got to keep it moving for our young people and help them to be where they need to be. For these reasons are why we must vote. I would like to, at this time, introduce our guest, our first guest. And I want to say before I do that the President and the First Lady and the Vice President's wife, Jill Biden, have dedicated their time and service to the veterans of this country, ensuring that when they come home from Iraq and Afghanistan, they receive the benefits and assistance they have so much deserved. Giving counseling to families, housing assistance, medical assistance, jobs, and compensation for what they have done for us all and this country. Today we have a special guest with us who is an advocate, leader, representative, and a veteran himself, who will speak with us about the services he is doing with the Black veterans. Mr. Lewis Jackson. Mr. Jackson is also one of the owners of WAIN and WAEN TV and a member of our organization, which I'm proud to say, Community Advocates in Action. So, without further ado, let's get our praise on, shall we? Mr. Jackson?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's a little after 1.
Yes.
And I feel like all of them. I feel like I got up and, in the service we would get up and we would do PT, our exercise. So, at 12, we would sort of pledge, we would salute the flag as to the colors. And later in the afternoon, we would do it again. So we are still a believer that the soldiers of this country,
yes,
is take care of themselves. We are sort of a fit group, and it kind of not leave us. And I am so pleased to be on your program. It very seldom somebody get the privilege to be, and if you do, you got to be so fortunate. And I take it this opportunity to be so gracious that you would allow me up here.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere here.
So I won't have to. So all those other folks out there that if you're watching and you are a little jealous of the opportunity that I got. If you do good things and Rita will let you be on the program,
Amen.
But you got to do something. She just won't allow you to be on her program unless you're doing something. So I take it that she must think that I'm doing something.
I think you're doing a wonderful thing. What you're doing right now, particularly with the Black veterans, it's awesome. And I want you to tell us about that.
Well, we are a group that we organized back here last year, and we started with a couple of us. Now we got some 30 members of it, And what we do is that, matter of fact, right now we're meeting every week. What we do is that we understand that veterans don't always know their rights. They don't always know how to get their benefits. They don't have somebody that's watching their back. And so we know that sometimes it gets lonely out there, especially if you're applying for benefits and you apply for them and you haven't heard from them in a year, and then when they write back, they tell you they're working on it, and that's it. And you feel that they're not doing all they want. So you sort of need somebody encouragement. It's kind of hard for a veteran to make it without some direction getting his benefit. We are fortunate enough to have people down there that will make sure our folks get what they deserve. And if you're a veteran, you serve this country, I mean, why shouldn't you get your benefits? We got our political, our congressmen and all those folks up there in the White House. If they serve one term, they get paid the rest of their life.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe they haven't been in the war, or maybe they haven't joined any of the armed services, and they still get those benefits.
Yep, and they don't get, So if you know somebody, if you are one of those folks that think that you don't have to think about it. If you've been in service in any kind of way, you need to come on and talk with us, join us, and help. If you think you get all the benefits you so deserve, but then you can help others get there.
Now, one question I wanted to ask you was, are we talking about veterans as far back as... As far back
as they go. If they're a veteran, they deserve something.
Okay, and because a lot of veterans that might have served in Vietnam, a lot of veterans that
I served in Vietnam.
Okay.
So a lot of us, what they are trying to do, especially with us Vietnam veterans, they're trying to get rid of us. And if we don't get our benefits now, if we don't take care of our health, if we don't do the things we follow, we'll be gone. There's only 25% of us left. And they say in the next 4 years, half of them will be gone.
Now, the benefits that you talk about with respect to those that were served in Vietnam, would they be benefits that, let's say, for instance, someone had served and they had received benefits for school or benefits for housing? Is it over, or they don't get any more?
No. You still can get some benefits. If you were trying to go to school, they got some. They will send you there. I think up to age 62, but there's no reason why a veteran should be homeless or not have something, because since Obama been there, he has put everything in place for veterans. He has made it a place that veterans can be proud that they serve their country. There's housing for them, there's food for them, and
he's working on jobs, trying to get this bill passed so that the veterans can have work.
Yeah, now the veterans unemployment is lower than anybody because we got a thing to hire veteran. If you hire a veteran, you know one thing, that he has been trained, he's disciplined.
Right.
And
makes sense.
Right. I tell any young kid, any child that's finishing high school, I said child because I got 2 of them have done that. And if you don't have a trade that you want to go learn, if college is not your preferences, then you should try the service, because if you try there, you're going to get training in something.
Right.
They test you and they know what you're good at, and they're going to train you very well. There's nowhere else that a pilot could go and start flying a $50 million plane, and you're 20 years old, except service. I mean, they turn heavy equipment over to you. I mean, stuff that you wouldn't learn otherwise, So if you don't go to college right away, and then on top of that, you get an education, because they got the best colleges on campus, so you don't have to leave there. You can just get your thing. I apologize if somebody listened to my phone, but
that's okay.
Sometime I forget that I got it with me.
All right, it's all right. We all do that from time to time, don't we?
But we're gonna take care of that right now, and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Now, what I wonder also, now we talking about now. Do these veterans have to necessarily be veterans that have been injured or have some physical disability to get benefits, or are these overall veterans?
See, you got let's face it. If you were 18 years old and you went to the service back in the days, you got affected some kind of way, because when you got there, you had first sergeant up in your face, cussing you out, fussing at you. So you got some problem there.
Okay.
You wasn't allowed to think for a while, so you got some problems there.
Right.
So even though that you don't have the outward, appearances being hurt, there's some hurt in your heart. There's some change in your attitude. See, when you leave home and go in service, when you get out, you're supposed to be the same. If any change while you was in there, the Army caused it, and they should take care of it.
I see.
Now, just because and I run across veterans all the time, say I'm in good health, I'm all right, but somewhere along the line, something happened. If you were in service for a while, if it ain't nothing but when you were taken away from your family, when you went off in something and your grandmama died and you couldn't come back home, there's a spot in your heart that caused that.
Wow.
But what we want to make sure is the veterans understand that.
Yes.
Let them understand that just because you don't have a headache, that it doesn't mean that ain't nothing hurting you. So
that would mean you have to get some kind of medical documentation or something.
Well, that's what you should always do. Yeah. When you come out of service now, when we came out, when I come from Vietnam, all I wanted to do was not let nobody know that I'd been there, because that was Vietnam. If you had been in Vietnam, that was a stigma that everybody thought you were crazy and they wanted to be around you. Wow. So, but now, we can look up to our veterans, because now we realize what we went through. Yes. And what the veteran has done for us. I tell you, when I was there, and when I got out, they just, okay, you can go. You don't need to call us, because you ain't finna get that. So that's what we try to tell these veterans, that because you got out, let you out in the pasture without any direction, we're here to help give you some directions. We're here to make sure that if you're sick, that somebody would be there to take care of you. If you see, because there are a lot of veterans that don't have families, they're out there on their own. We are here to help those veterans. Now,
is there a way, if people wanted to find out what's available to them, veterans, particularly our black veterans, they want to find out what's available to them, how would they go about? Do they have to go online? Can they contact you?
Well, we would love for them to contact us, because we can give them some. We can walk through some things with them. You can go online with right now, and they'll tell you everything that you. It's there for you to know, but if you don't know where to look for it, you may not find it. Yeah. So what we love to do is, if you have been in service, you have served your country, come on and join up with us, because you may be all right, and we hope you are. But then you know somebody who's not. Right. You know somebody who need our help. You know somebody that's that got thrown to the pastor, and they have no one to bring them back.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, like a lot of veterans, like like I say, that have been in the service during the Vietnam era and other areas that are out of work due to the fact that they were laid off or lack of work, and they're not at that age where they can collect their Social Security. They have no income, nothing going on.
If you are a veteran and you don't have any income, you can go get what we call pension. They will give you a pension if you served in the service and you got no income and you can't get it. So there's no reason why you can't have. I mean, it's not like, you know, I think they give you $1,200.
That's, Lord, listen, $1,200. That's pretty good.
So if you don't have any income, I mean, you can definitely you can get a pension, and pension will give you some money. Now, if you
is there any requirements for it, or it's just that just the fact that you're out of work, you don't have any income,
right? You
will
got
be enough to. Okay.
Yeah, but you could. All you got to do is show that you don't have income and you can't get it. And you know that. I mean, you get a pension. And
what about medical? Would they still be able to get medical?
Oh yeah.
If they don't have any insurance, because you know how it is now. People don't. Half of the country don't have insurance. So.
Well, you know, and I tell every veteran, you need to go on down there and get signed up and get your VA ID, so you can go to the doctor. You can go anywhere, anytime. You know, I got. Well, y'all can think that I shouldn't be walking around with you. I got a heart doctor. I got a liver doctor. I got a kidney doctor. I got a foot doctor. I got a internal medicine. I got because of my shoulder got hurt, so I go to rehab. I got 2 psychiatrists, and I got, so anything that happened on me, I got a part for it to be taken care of.
You got a doctor for everything.
So you know, I used to wake up in the morning, my foot looks fair stiff. I go to the doctor, say, look at doc, I got a stiff foot, don't know what's going on with it. And on top of that, you know, they got doctors for your eyes. I get 100% dental care, 100% eye care. So I get 100% of everything, but not because they found me and said you deserve it. I had to go get it.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
And on top of that, veteran, you know, some of you get 50% and you say, well, I'm getting $1,000. That's all fine. But then you're leaving $2,000 out there on the table. So you got veterans getting $2,000 and $3,000 a month.
Now those are veterans that have been injured.
Did I not say if you went in service, you did something, you got injured somewhere?
You said it, but
so now, okay, you know, if you run in service, they got you running everywhere. Your knees gonna get bad because the car is gonna wear out.
Love it.
and if the car is wear out when you get home, that's gonna cause you to have a foot problem.
I see, said the blind man.
And if that causes that, it causes your hip.
Gotcha.
So whatever it is, it's connected.
Okay.
So you connect the dots.
Okay.
That's what we do. We show veterans how to connect the dots.
Okay.
You know, a veteran just want to go get his benefits on his own. First thing, he doesn't know the language.
Yeah, and he'll get the runaround, right?
He ain't gonna get nothing but the runaround. He's gonna be saying that I filed my claims 5 years ago and they turned me down. If you don't know the language, you can't get served.
Okay.
You know, and knowing the way I am, I went out there to the VA. And I told the guys, I said, look here, I need to know when they gonna have a special program for the special folk. They said, well, you know, they have a program next week that I said, now is the hit man gonna be there? So I went out there and they said, I said, well, now who's charged over everybody? And so I went and told them, I look at you need to serve me. I said, cause I ain't want to go to these other folks down there. I talked to the man who make the decision, And I told him what it was. He said, I'll take care of it. A month later, I was getting 100%.
Wow. You see?
But you gotta, I mean.
That definitely gotta be aggressive.
Well, see, in life, aggressive. I tell folks anytime. Some people say, Lewis, you've been successful most of your. I ain't smart as none of these folks. But I've always gotten what I want because you can't tell me no.
There you go.
You know, if you tell me no, I know one thing. I asked you the wrong way. so I mean, you know, I didn't phrase it right.
Yeah.
So now I got to come back and ask you a different way. Then if I ask you 2 more times, and then you say no, then I'm gonna ask you why you said no to me. So when I ask the next person, I know not to say no. See, because I mean, it's the same thing in everything. Yeah, I got one thing to say. Then I'm gonna say when I went to Vietnam, I got there one day and they had a petition going around and all the blacks were signing. So when they called me in for the investigation, because we're in investigation, I really didn't know. And I said, now I don't want to do no hard labor. This is a good chance for me to get what I want. I told them, I said, you know, this the best thing ever happened to me. I said, the first sergeant is the best thing ever happened to me. When I got out there, they gave me my own Jeep. Wow. I had my own hooch. If anybody else wanted to go down, go somewhere, they had to come see me. You know, it's just the way you do it.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, I you know, I know you got a lovely guest out there, and you know, I could talk for 2 hours.
Well, I appreciate you. And I want to also remind the audience here that, you know, Mr. Jackson has his own show on Thursdays at 11 here at WAIN, the OG show, and you guys really should check it out because it's wonderful entertainment. It's good guests that he has are just really inspiring and enlightening and educational. So don't miss that show.
Yeah. We want to make sure that everybody get a job. And if somebody out there looking for a job, you don't have one, you need to call us. Cause with our veteran organization, we got people who specialize in finding jobs for people. You don't have to be a veteran to be out of work, but if you're out of work and you really want to work, you give us a call here at 444-770-300. We're going to take care of you. I'm just a country boy from South Georgia who learned that if anything you want to do, if you work hard enough at it, and you be true to what you want to do, you got to be true to yourself. Now you can't say you want to do nothing and shucking and jiving. As the president said about the other man, you can't be bull. And then we'll know. But you got to be real. If you're looking for something to do, and if you got a show idea, and we think it's a good idea, and you think it's a good idea, and Miss Betty thinks it's a good idea, give us a call here, and we would love for you to have your own show just like. See, Rita shouldn't be the only one got a pretty show, got a lovely show, and all the good gear. I'm sure you just as articulate as she is, and I really appreciate you for allowing me to be here.
Well, I appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate you for allowing me to be here and having a show. So,
and we thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Let's give Mr. Jackson a round of applause. Thank you.
All right, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah. All
right,
definitely.
Bye.
Now, we got some great information here, folks. We got some wonderful information regarding the veterans. So anybody that is a veteran that is in need of any kind of assistance or just wants some help or have questions, just call here to the station, talk with Mr. Jackson. You can also come onto the show here and talk with us. We're located here at 3105 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. I'd like to introduce our next guest. Our next guest is a wonderful young lady who is working with a mentoring group called Youth Connections Inc. Miss Audrey Prim. Miss Prim has been she's a very, very active lady, and she's involved with young people, my passion, and I had the pleasure of meeting her at a Father's Dad's conference a few months ago, and then she attended our youth summit that we had during our Youth Education Voter Registration Summit, and she came and attended that, and we certainly appreciate her commitment and her support. And how are you, Miss Prim?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Rita.
You're welcome. You make sure your mic's on, dear. There we go. We're excited about having you here, Audrey. I know that the Youth Connections is a 501c3 program, nonprofit organization, I should say. And it promotes youth development, positive youth development through various forms of social service. Now, I want you to elaborate a little bit about that and tell us all about what you guys are doing.
Well, first, Youth Connections is headed by our executive director and founder, Mr. Michael Daniels. He first started out Youth Connections. He wanted to be a safe haven for young males, like a homeless or runaway shelter. That started out in 2004. He really didn't get the funding until 2008 to start working with children of incarcerated parents.
Okay.
So the program really started to pick up momentum and speed from there. And from there, we've grown out into mentoring, which has become a very strong and positive attribute for Youth Connections. And we're very excited about that program because we've been able to touch and meet so many different people through our mentoring opportunities.
Yes, and that's what I was excited about because, we've had several different organizations here on the program, on this program each and every Saturday, just about talking about the different aspects of how they help the young people. And in terms of what your services provide, is basically geared to the at-risk youth. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct. Right now, the shelter that we have is entitled King's Manor, and it's for young.
Oh, your mic up.
It's for the shelter is entitled King's Manor. It's located in College Park, Georgia. It's for male youth between the ages of 10 to 17 years of age.
Okay.
It's a 21-day program where we come and assist on the medical end, on the educational end. We know that 21 days isn't necessarily a long period of time, but in those 21 days, we can do all we can to put them on a road of some positivity or some progressiveness so that when they leave our program, they have an idea of where they would like to continue forward in, or if they've been exposed to some certain things, they can figure out, okay, I like this, I don't like that, I can put the effort toward this, I can be successful, I just have to put my mind to it and step out on faith and actually do it.
There you have it. Amen. Now, when was this organization formed?
2004.
2004.
Yes.
And so that would be, give it 8 years.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. Beautiful. I'm so proud of Mr. Daniels. I was like, wow, to start in 2004, not to necessarily get what you were wanting for almost 4 years, and then it all came in full force. Like, I just think that's a blessing that he kept the faith, didn't give up, stayed in it, and it paid off.
Oh,
it paid off.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Now, what is the process that, I was reading here where you have 336 children and youth with adult mentors over a 3-year period, and many of those kids were recruited from prisons.
Yes.
Now, what is the process for them to go in and get those kids, or to recruit those kids from the prisons? How does that work?
Once again, Mr. Daniels has great relationships with a lot of the civil and public organizations here in Atlanta.
Okay.
He does a lot of work up in our country's capital, so he has a lot of connections there. So the Department of Labor is one of those federal organization that has a lot to offer in terms of grants and funding. Okay. So he was able to get a lot of funding through the Department of Labor to reach out and I love it. I love it. So his connections with working with the Department of Human Resources Services, I believe that's how I stated. Forgive me.
Resources.
There we go. He has a lot of connections within that department, which trickles down here to Atlanta. So I would always tell people, building relationships and networking with other people is a surefire way to help propel and motivate your ideas and your dreams forward.
Oh, no doubt.
It's
all
about relationships.
Because I'm a networking person.
Hey,
I'll try to anybody and everybody, right? You gotta keep it moving and get it going, right?
Right.
But now, so they're able to go into the detention center.
Yes.
And talk with the young people.
Yes.
In, I guess, upon time of their release or whatever it might be, then they can come out and work with the mentoring.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have 2 project managers.
Yes.
And who are they?
That is Wallace House. Mm-hmm. He's actually our new assistant executive director.
Okay.
And then our other project manager is Mr. Charles Wheeler. He's over at the King's Manor, the runaway shelter for young men between the ages of 10 to 17 years of age.
Okay. And so now with the, if I understand what I read correctly, the 2 employees are project managers, the mentoring, and then the other one is the home builders.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be the King's
Manor.
Okay, got it. Okay, now, you guys have done so much that you've received awards. Tell us about those awards.
Oh, well,
I mean, that's great. I mean, recipient awards, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now that may have been before my time. Now
okay.
I know that.
Okay.
I know that we have received. We were fortunate enough to receive the new funding from also once again the Department of Labor for our new collaborative project entitled Project Restore. It's for the reentry community, and it touches the youth between the ages of 16 and 24,
21 or 24. Okay,
male and female who have been involved in the juvenile judicial system.
Okay, and now is the King's Manor the same as the Basic Center, or is that something? Okay, because the Basic Center, it handles the runaways, the homeless, and this kind of thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, there's licensing required, of course, with the state of Georgia for this particular type housing.
Yes.
And now, if they're only in this housing for the 21 days that I understand is 21 days, right? After the 21 days, what happens to these young people? Where do they go from there?
Most of our young people do have family here.
Okay.
In Atlanta. Okay. So they transition back out either to their family households, or some of them are in situations where their families do not want them to enter back into the home. Wow. Which breaks my heart to think of it. And then again, but I guess there's just been so much trust that has been broken that it's almost hard for them to forgive and to forget. So some of them do have to go into foster care. Some of them aren't to foster care, but if some of them, while they're in our program, they're in the home, some of them age out, so they turn 18. So then technically they can either become a ward of the state, which some of them can, if while they were still in there, they were 17 and turned 18, or some of them go into the military. Well,
that as Mr. Jackson was just saying, there you have it. That's the best thing to do, to get wonderful training.
Exactly.
Excellent training to come out and make good money and have a good future. So and again, these are ages 10 to 17.
10 to 17,
right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the ones who are having the substance abuse problems? Even if they go through this 21 days, we can't say that substance abuse problem has been taken care of in those 21 days.
Correct.
Or they have to still continue with some sort of program, even if they go into a foster home?
Correct. Because most of them with youth, because they are minors, more so things are going to be more mandatory for them because they are underage.
Okay.
So if there is any type of substance abuse, they will be monitored and mandatory to attend a substance abuse program, which that goes hand in hand with our Project Restore project, because we can have them come in on that end into the Project Restore, and we help to obtain substance abuse and mental health programming for those individuals who need it.
And then the Project Restore, the things you target, the points of action, or the things you would target and focus on, and you talk about 62% of people incarcerated, they have a parent or a guardian themselves that have been in prison.
Yes.
So that's an area that you focus on immediately with these
Yes.
young people. And then the ones that are at risk, for the most part, most kids that are at risk suffer low esteem.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. And then now on the employment end of it, now that's where I'm really at the employment and education and training part of it, so that they can better develop themselves within the community and within themselves.
Correct.
That's good.
Most definitely. I think our main objective with them is that we do have multiple incentives for them to become a part of the program, maintain their involvement in the program so they can successfully complete the programming. But the most important thing I know for us is that we teach them to fish and not just continuously feed them, because we don't want our programming to become another assistance.
Yeah, so they become dependent upon.
Exactly. We want it to be that we're helping them they're crawling, we help you to walk, so then you can run on and carry the rest of the message out for yourself.
Amen. So a mentor's role. Now that's where they tell us about the mentor. I'm gonna let you tell us about the mentor's role.
I must say that mentoring to me has to be one of the most gratifying roles that anyone could play a part of someone else's life. For a mentor to sacrifice at least 4 hours a month out of their time to basically just be an additional support system in another person's life. We're not saying that you're replacing an aunt or a mom or a dad or a sister or brother.
Right.
You're just there to help shine your light. Okay. So as they're walking along their path, they can just see, okay, I can see my path. It's not, I have someone who's rooting for me, who's cheering who's cheering from behind, spending time praying for me, and listening to me, talking with me. That's what our mentors do. We actually have dedicated mentors who would take time out of their schedule to come in and help facilitate some of our in-house programming, who come out to our community service initiatives, if we're having resource fairs or just little get-togethers to have our participants and their families come out. Our mentors will come out whether they have been matched with a mentee or not. Okay. They still come out and show support. Our mentoring component is, I just have to say, it's rocking.
It's all right now.
I love it.
That's great. Now, you guys are getting ready to do something special this year.
Yes, we are. Come November 30th, we will be at the HJC Bowden Center here in East Point, Georgia. We're having our end of the year ceremony. It's entitled An Evening with Project Restore. It's a special moment for our participants to showcase their talents. We're going to have a talent show. A lot of them love the music industry, and they want to, of course. So they want to get their music out there, perform for us, because believe it or not, sometimes they stop by the office and, oh, Miss Audrey, let me rap this new song that I have, or let me sing. It's like, baby, I'm at work. Let's save it for another time. But come November 30th from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. we'll be there. We'll fellowship. We will also recognize our high achievers for best improved, most outstanding students.
This is exciting.
I would say the majority of our participants are either employed, enrolled in a GED programming. Some of them actually enrolled in college. Fantastic. Or attending our job readiness, youth leadership developments, or any other in-house programming that we have, just to keep away that idleness, that idle time. So they come.
This is going to be
exciting.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I appreciate the invitation, and
definitely.
I'm certainly looking forward to being there, because I'm excited. I want to see some of that talent.
Yeah, just come dressed up in your best, don it all out.
Watch out now. I'm excited about that.
Most definitely.
Now, if anybody wants to be a part of Youth Connections,
yes,
tell them how they can connect with you guys.
Well, on both ends, if you know of someone who would benefit from our Kings Manor, that's the youth male shelter, ages 10 to 17. That address is 4625 Ben Hill Road, College Park, Georgia 30349. Telephone number is 404-559-9297. Or if you would like to mentor with our reentry program with Project Restore, that's 404-474-7479, and you can ask for myself, Audrey, Prim, or Wallace House, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through the steps to become a mentor.
Well, Audrey, we thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited about what you're doing, and I certainly wish you a lot of luck, and I hope our listeners, our audience has picked up on, again, you say those numbers for us one more time.
Kings Manor, that's 404-559-9297. That is the runaway shelter. And Project Restore for mentoring is 404-474-7479.
Okay. Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate Audrey, and I look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Let's give Audrey a round of applause, shall we?
Just want to say that a few things that I wanted to mention. Before we close today, and that is that you know that on November 6th, you know, we want everyone to take your neighbor, any young person who's registered, and go vote. Help them to help themselves. Show some strength, support, and a lot of love and commitment, and then it will pay it forward. It always pay forward. Amen. You know, we've heard a lot in the past weeks with regards to the debates that have taken place. We've heard some very negative things said about our president and vice president that for me is just not Christ-like and you know, and disrespectful. You know, no one will ever have a perfect day or moment even. But when we watch these debates, the most important thing we should do is listen. Listen to what the issues are and what the candidates' plans are to handle the issues, to move our country forward for all people, not just some. We the people are the ones. We're the ones who make this world go around. We decide who is going to have that job as president or VP or congressman and so on. So we are in control of this decision. And this decision is made when we go to the polls and vote. There is no reason. maybe we don't hear what we want to hear, right? But what is said is facts, and truth is what should matter. There's no reason to yell at each other or call each other names or tell lies. As I read in the beginning of my show, the poem, The Speaker, and being careful of what you say out of your mouth and off your tongue. There's no reason that we should have to hear politicians lie to us or tell us what we want to hear just so they can be our president or our congressman or whatever. There's no reason to convince us that we should vote for this one or that one. We just need to hear facts, truth, and what's going to benefit us. What we should do is listen and make our decisions based on substance and policy. What is best for you and your family? So, you know, we are in tough times right now. It's all about jobs and income needed to take care of our families, health care to take care of ourselves and our families, education to ensure our children's future, housing, keeping a roof over our head. These two parties, Democrat and Republican, need to explain these issues and how they will make it happen in the interest of us, the voter, the people who make this world go around. We don't need entertainment at a debate. We don't need entertainment at a campaign stop. What we need is truth and facts. What are you going to do? A few weeks ago, you know, I don't know if any of you heard, a few weeks ago there was a gunshot sent through the window of Obama campaign headquarters in Colorado. We are so grateful no one was hurt. But what does it say to the hate and violence out there? We cannot be deterred from our mission, which is to vote. This type of violence reminds me of the 60s, when we were just trying to get the right to vote. We're dealing with voter suppression, states attempting to change early voting, and for some making it difficult to vote without proper ID. How is that compared to treating anyone equal under the law? How is it? We cannot let anyone turn us away or turn us around or discourage us on a basic human and civil right we have to vote. This election will come down to the haves and the have-nots. It's so important. If we just stay home and give up, what we have right now just to survive may not be there in 2013. We cannot blame anyone but ourselves if we don't vote, and encourage everyone you know to vote. Yes, I'm very passionate about this election because I listen, I get it, and I educate myself and my family of the impact and the direction of this presidential race could go. This is the main reason I created this organization, Community Advocates in Action. And as the founder of this movement, our members and myself plan to do all we can to get people educated and to the polls to vote. As you know, we've had several voter registration drives. We've had a youth summit to educate our young people who are eligible to vote. And however, we need to do more. And it is through you that we get it done. We gotta vote, gotta get others to vote. We have less than 10 days to continue to educate ourselves on this issue. What is important for you and your family? And make a decision that is best for you and your family. So when you hear these candidates for VP and Pres on the campaign trail, take a moment to really listen to how these candidates plan to move this country forward. Don't listen to the hype. Listen to the facts and the truth. Then you can see clearly, and it will help you to make a sensible and wise decision when you go to the polls for early voting and on November 6, 2012. I thank you for joining us today. I thank you, and I hope that this message has resonated to you. Early voting starts today. If you can go today here in Georgia, go vote. I want to thank everyone who has joined me on my show today, Mr. Jackson and Ms. Prim, and I ask that you come back with us next Saturday as we continue on this project of voting. And we hope that anyone who would like to come on our show and join us on the show and talk about the issues regarding this election campaign, or if you have young people that you'd like to bring on the show, we welcome you to come and join us. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next week. God bless you. May God keep you. May God make his face to shine upon you. And most of all, go vote. Now it's going to take maybe a day or two.